Hi, my name is John Michael, and this is my practice persuasive speech. Donald Trump has taken the political landscape like a wrecking ball. His rise from celebrity candidate to Republican frontrunner has shocked some, made others laugh, and made others support him without reservation. Those who support him come from all backgrounds and all walks of life. His campaign slogan of Make America Great Again has captivated the nation, but one of his proposals will do the opposite. Mr. Trump and his followers have proposed the building of a wall of the southern border to prevent the illegal immigrant flow from South America to the United States. Today I will show you that we can't build it, we don't need it, and we aren't about it. We won't build a wall because we can't do it. This sounds like too simple of an explanation, but it's right on point. Mr. Trump is calling on building a wall that blocks Mexico from the United States. First off, how long will that wall even be? If Mr. Trump is to be taken at his word, we must look at the dimensions of this. The border between Mexico and the continental United States runs across 4 states and would have a proposed length of around 2,000 miles, 1,954 to be exact. Trying to imagine this in terms of something else, the proposed wall would equal a length of around 35,000 football fields or around 680,000 Honda Civics. That'd be a long wall. Mr. Trump has also said the wall will be around 35 to 40 feet tall. Some might say that this length and height is not a problem. They might have a point. For example, the Great Wall of China is over 5,500 miles long. It was built many years ago, and its highest point is around 25 feet tall. However, the Great Wall does not have a constant height throughout and took a couple thousands of years to build. With modern advances in construction technology, it would be possible to speed up this process. However, exact timeframes are tough to come by. So theoretically, the wall that could be built over some time. However, at what cost? Mr. Trump has been quoted by numerous news organizations by saying the wall would cost over $8 billion. Yes, billion with a B. That is an enormous sum of money for a public works project. He cites no way that the country will come up with these funds except for saying that Mexico will pay for it. No real idea how Mexico will pay for it. It's just something he says. Also, like any and every example of a candidate proposal or a government project, we can only assume that $8 billion is the lowest that it will cost. As you can see, the proposed wall might possibly be built, but it seems highly unlikely due to the cost and due to the length. Which brings us to the next part of why we shouldn't build the wall. We don't need it. We don't need Mr. Trump's wall, and his supporters are calling on, first off, because illegal in this country is an overgrown problem. Current estimates from the highly respected Pew Research Center put the percentage of illegal immigrants in a total population of around 3.5%, or around 5% of the labor force, which is people who are actually working. Those are very low in the grand scheme of things. Also, Mr. Trump has argued that illegals bring crime and drugs into this country and that they don't even pay taxes. While some illegal immigrants might commit crime and won't pay taxes, their numbers are actually very low. The Center for Immigration Studies concludes that around 75% of these people that pay taxes and the chances that they commit crime are the same as you and your neighbors might commit crime. Also, according to the Center for Immigration Studies, which opposes any and every amnesty plan, recently had one of its leaders come out and say there's no evidence that immigrants are either more or less likely to commit crimes than anybody else in the population. So illegal immigrants pay taxes and don't commit crimes at an exaggerated level. Once a trend, Mr. Trump is just lying and propagandizing what he wants us to think, and we're not going to fall for it. And who are these illegal immigrants Mr. Trump is trying to keep out? In general, they are people just like you and I. They are hardworking, dedicated, motivated, and loving people. They're your neighbors, your bosses, your friends, and your any and everything. They are exactly what the founders of the United States were hundreds of years ago. People trying to build a better life. So that brings up the final point of why we shouldn't build the wall. We aren't about it. If you look at Mr. Trump's idea throughout the lens of history, who else should have built a wall? Should Native American tribes that lived in these lands before any citizens were here have built a wall? The United States has always been a country that has allowed those seeking refuge to come and visit her. The Statue of Liberty has a poem written on it by Emily Lazarus titled The New Colossus. One quote from it has always stood out to me in the thoughts of liberty in the United States in general. And I quote, "Give me your tired, your poor, your huddled masses yearning to breathe free, the wretched refuse, your teeming shore. Send these, the homeless, tempest tots to me. I lift my lamp beside the golden door." This is what I and most Americans think the country is about, helping those who need help. This country has always been referenced to as the land of opportunity. This country sends aids all throughout the world to those who need it, fights for those who want it, provides for those in need. The wall does none of these things. It does the opposite it does. It keeps those out who are in need. Those who are searching for a better life, a better way, an American way. Mr. Trump's wall is not about that, and we are not about Mr. Trump's wall. You might be asking yourself, what can I do? This is not a message to get out and vote for another candidate as opposed to Mr. Trump, because I see that telling people just as bad as telling people to stay out. I see a few things we can all do to prevent this wall. First off, know the facts. These numbers cited above and plenty more online should help you if you encounter someone or a group of people in favor of the wall. Having the facts on your side is a good way to know how disastrous this wall would be. Secondly, get involved. Write to your local paper or your local Congress people, because those are the people who will be voting if this wall proposal becomes to fruition. And thirdly, finally, stay prepared. I hope Mr. Trump is just putting the idea out there so that such a plan will never be enacted if he becomes president. However, if this plan does come in action, be prepared to protest it even more. Be prepared to be the ones on the front line that as President Obama is often quoted as saying, the ones who are being on the right side of history. Illegal immigration in this country has become a divisive issue throughout the years, and especially during this campaign season. Depending on which side of the political aisle you may fall on, Mr. Trump's wall idea may be viewed as genius, insane, or somewhere in the middle. For some, free college or free health care, as some other candidates have called for, is just as insane. It is important to remember, though, that with each passing day, Mr. Trump's chances of winning a Republican nomination and the presidency increase, and they're way more likely than you winning the Powerball. So it is important to get rid of this idea right now. Put your foot down and say, we're not going to build this wall. So then in the future, it's still we, and it's not us versus them. Thanks.